If you buy dark rum because you think it looks rich, aged or premium, then I may have some bad news for you. And by the end of this video, you may never trust a bottle of dark rum the same way again. Hey rum friends, my name's Steve the Barman, a bartender of over 30 years. And here on this channel between 2021 and 2024, did a massive deep dive on rum. And now I'm just in the process of creating 100 brand new rum cocktails. Now there's 3 bottles here in front of me. One earns its colour properly. One is faking it. And one is really honest about faking it. Now, before I go any further, what exactly is dark rum? Well, it's many things to many different people, but there is no legal classification of dark rum. It is purely a term that most of the rum community give to rum that is not white. Therefore, it is dark, because what's the opposite to light? Dark. But there are 2 ways that rum can get its colour, but I'm going to give you a third way as well that very rarely gets mentioned. But the big 2 ways is, firstly, rum that spends time in a barrel. White rum, light rum, is put in a barrel to age. Therefore, when it comes out of the barrel after however many years or months, therefore it's taken on the colour of the wood. Therefore, what is opposite to light? Dark. And the second way a rum can get its colour is from caramel colouring. A little cheeky little number called E150A. But here's one big takeaway I want to give you before we go any further. The colour of the rum is going to tell you absolutely nothing about what you're about to taste. Now, I mentioned caramel colouring, E150A. Now, it is important to note that on its own, that is actually not a bad thing. The vast majority of aged rums actually use E150A to maintain consistency between batches year on year. But the con comes in when you start paying for what you think is actually aged, and you've got a white rum that's just solely got E150A to give it the appearance of being dark. For example, I'm going to pour some of my bottle of Plantaray XO, and this rum has got 99 point whatever % of its colour purely through barrels. Whereas this rum, and yes, it is a spiced rum, but this rum has got its colour from guess what? Can you see the difference between those 2? One is purely from barrel aging and just a touch of E150A for consistency. The other, completely fake. Now, Kraken has got potential to actually be in one of these bags. Plantaray probably not so much, because it's not really a cocktail rum, unless you're going to make rum fashions. So therefore, probably wouldn't get termed as dark rum. Now, before I go any further, I did mention there was a third way that rums can get colour, and it is technically barrel aging, although it's a slightly different way of barrel aging. So I've actually got 2 examples here. And I would say, I don't know how rife this is around the world, but I would say it's very well used for British scratch rums. And the colour of these 2 is from barrels. However, it's wood chips. These 2 companies, Goldstone and Dropworks, actually use wood chips, different, so barrels chipped down, to actually impart colour and flavour rapidly. For example, the colour like that can literally come within a matter of weeks. There are no caramel colourings. There's no E150A gone into either of these bottles. And yet both of these are called dark rum. Now let's start diving into these bags to give you some idea of what you would actually taste if you went down these routes. Because why do we buy dark rums apart from it for the dark and stormy? Me, rum and coke, some tiki cocktails. We buy it because in our head we think it's richer, deeper, maybe even sweeter. And that's not necessarily the case. So the first bag, the bag that is real. And whether you believe that this is a dark rum or not, again, there is no right or wrong here. Some certain situations I see this get called a dark rum and going in cocktails. In other situations, I see this merely as an aged rum. As I say, there is no legal classification, so there is no right and no wrong. But when it comes to cocktails and dark rum, this actually gets shouted about quite a lot. This is Appleton 8-year-old. Now, if you're reading tiki cocktail books like Beach Bum Berry, there is often a chance or often a mention of dark Jamaican rum. And this is primarily one of the brands it is talking about. Now, yes, there will be a touch of E158 in here, but there's absolutely zero sugar added. Now, I absolutely adore this rum. I fell in love with it on my rum journey. And I think pound for pound, dollar for dollar if you're US, I don't think there's actually a better cocktail rum, mass market cocktail rum on the market. This is incredible. On the nose, this is lovely banana-y, vanilla-y, honey kind of aroma. It's actually not that difficult to pick out the barrel aging. There is a big amount of wood. After all, it has spent minimum of 8 years in the barrel. So we've got those big woody notes, but also with Jamaican rums, you get those sort of pineapple, you like those tropical fruity notes, and it is a fantastic rum. And then on the palate, it is gorgeous. Whether you use that for sipping, whether you use it in cocktails, it is so versatile and incredible. Banana, caramel, you get this prickly spice from those barrel, that 8 years in the barrel. But it's not an overbearing sort of woody spice. It's lovely, it's gorgeous. It's fruity as it lengthens out, even more banana comes out. And I actually think it's really approachable, even for a beginner. It's beautifully balanced between sweet and dry, or sweet and woody, if you want to go there. It's got a touch of sweetness without no sugar being added to it, which makes it really good as a sipping rum. But it has also got plenty of body to it if you want to use it in cocktails. Now let's have a look at one that is completely and utterly faking it, okay? And it'll be no guesses to you. I could have picked out one of 10 different brands here. Now, we don't know with Bacardi exactly what their processes are, but we know they have a 4-year-old rum, we know they have an 8-year-old rum, and we know they have a 12-year-old rum. However, none of them, and there isn't much left in this bottle, I just keep it around just in case, but absolutely none of them are that colour. And if you're telling me that they want you to believe that this is spent longer than the 12 years in the barrel at the price they sell it for, you know there's something fishy going on. On the nose, this smells dramatically sweeter than that Appleton 8-year-old. But this is also going to have some fans. I know a lot of people that like this in cocktails. I'm not saying it's a bad rum. I'm just saying it's completely different to what you would expect as an aged or a dark rum. And on smelling, you'd be forgiven for thinking this is actually a spiced rum because there's notes of cinnamon coming off there. There is notes of vanilla coming off there. Do I get any barrel aging off that? Any woody notes? No, not at all. But the cinnamon and the vanilla that you may pick up would kind of give or tries to give off the illusion that it has spent plenty of time in the barrel. And then on tasting, it's okay. It's all right. It has got a harshness to it. It's nowhere as easy to sip as what that Appleton is. And I wouldn't say it's even as sweet as what it smells. It's all right. I maybe get this like coffee sort of roasted flavour to it. I may get like a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of burnt caramel. But at the end of the day, that is very, very one-dimensional, which would suggest that actually it's spent very little to no time in a barrel. And now let's look at the third brand that is faking it, but are honest about faking it. And that is Gosling's. They make no bones about colour being added to it, but they also tell you that it's aged. And while they don't give you an age statement, there are bits of text going around that would say that like the minimum age in here is actually 4 years old. We know it's been aged. It's part of their story. It's part of their brand. But how much, we don't exactly know. And how much colour has gone in there, we don't know. But they do tell you. Now, I did this as part of a live tasting to my membership community a week ago or so. And it's actually one of the first times that I've properly tasted this neat. And I was really surprised at how much I liked it. On the nose, I do get this big molasses kind of vibe. I get this sort of spice note, but the thing that I picked off was licorice. And I get this like lovely sort of subtle licorice. I don't even like the licorice sweets, but the smell of it smells really nice. I think the big thing for me, the difference between this and the Bacardi is that actually on the nose, you cannot mistake that this is actually spent time in the barrels. You have got that wood, that barrel aging nose going on. And then on the taste, honestly, I genuinely really, really like it. Was completely surprised about how much I do actually like drinking this neat. I get a lovely, completely not sweet at all. I get this lovely vanilla, roasted sort of nutty, roasted caramel kind of vibe coming off this. I get that licorice top note, which doesn't actually put me off. I kind of like that. As I say, even though I don't like licorice sweets. On the second taste, I would actually say roasted coffee notes. It reminds me of a roastery. We go in like coffee being roasted, but I get this lovely sort of cinnamony clove kind of thing. Very different to the Bacardi, whether those flavours have been put in there to give you that illusion that it's aged, I don't know. But from this, you can tell it's genuine, and that comes from wood. And it is a glorious, glorious dark rum. Well, in Gosling's case, black rum. Now doing this, I think it would be completely unfair for me not to drop a fourth rum in here. A fourth dark rum that is very, very open about caramel being added, but we also know it's spent quite a bit of time in a barrel. And that is one of my all-time favourite rums that I love and adore, Worthy 109. Now, this is also a great cocktail rum. We know that it's spent a lot of time in heavily charred barrels, so that's where a lot of the colour is coming from. But as I say, they do add a touch of caramel colouring because they wanted a dark rum for cocktails, a dark Jamaican rum for cocktails. And that's something you just can't do from 8 to 10 years in a barrel. You have to kind of fake it a little bit. And this is completely different. Again, toasted coffee notes, you know, roasted nutty. I do get a little bit of alcohol on there, a bit of heat, but then this is a stronger rum. The 109 is proof, therefore 54.5% ABV. And like you'll get from Appleton, we also know the stills that have been used to create this. We've got pot stills, we've got double retort pot stills going on. So we've got a lot more body to rums like this. So where I would still say they are fake, there is nothing being kept a secret from this. It's just they're open about the fact that caramel colouring gets added to give it that darker, blacker hue. Now obviously that's a little bit more punchy, but for certain cocktails, that really does work a treat for me. Absolutely lovely. But I think as an all-rounder, for me, it's why I've got it behind the bar, and it's why I use this for cocktail masterclass as well. I think from an all-rounder dark rum point of view, for me, I love the Goslings. It's 40% ABV, and it is just a beautiful kind of taste in cocktails. And it does make, the whole reason they trademarked the dark and stormy is because it makes a phenomenal dark and stormy. Now, of course, there are way, way more brands out there than this. So what should you look for if you want an authentic dark rum without doing too much research? Well, firstly, if you want to go down the routes of aged rums, look for a number statement. Because, and specifically for the years old, because even a number on the front of the bottle doesn't necessarily mean it's that many years old. There are a number of Solera rums, for example, that will whack a number on there. They'll quite clearly say Solera, but they'll whack a number on there because it might be like a tiny 0.1% of like a rum that's been in that Solera system for 15, 20 years. There's a famous rum with 23 on the front of the bottle. That hasn't spent 23 years in a barrel. And where possible, look for the distillery. You know, there is some, all right, Bacardi is a distillery, Worthy is a distillery, Appleton is a distillery. Goslings are quite, again, open about the fact they buy in Caribbean rums. Goslings don't distill rum. They buy in Caribbean rums from their local surrounding islands. Bermuda doesn't really have surrounding islands, but close Caribbean islands. And they will blend it and then colour it to their exact specification. However, I think the main rule that we can kind of take, because even Worthy Park doesn't really go down that route. But if the bottle does say dark on it, then the fair chance is it's going to be a white rum with plenty of E158 added to it, or a very, very young 6 to 12 month old rum, again with plenty of colouring in it. There are plenty of dark rums on the market that have never, big famous brands that have never ever seen the insides of a wooden barrel. Now, if you like that and you want to go deeper on your rum journey, then I'd love you to come and join me in my brand new YouTube membership. It's all about rum now. We launched a couple of weeks ago. Inside, you're going to get weekly live streams and tastings. You are going to help me build my cocktail book that I'm releasing in 2027. I'm going to give you exclusive access to any new products, any new rums that I get behind the bar. And then the final thing is every month I produce a new themed rum cocktail book where I deep dive into one specific cocktail, give you knowledge about it, how to make it properly, and give you some riffs. So if you like the sound of that, click that join button on any of my videos or the channel homepage, and I'd love to see you in my rum community. And if you don't want to do that, but you want to watch another rum video, well, I'm going to stick the next one up there for you.